Greetings, Mr. Stone. I hope you are well. I am hoping that the PS4 system is working correctly. It seems there is a communication issue between my PS4 and the YouTube system, and I am not sure what it is. Because I have been getting told that it is not communicating in the country of origin, which makes no sense to me. So I apologize if I'm not watching you right off the bat. Thank you, Turtle. It looks like I am going to have to start it, stop it, and start it every episode for some reason. I do not know. It is confusing, to say the least. But it is Saturday. It is least Wits night. It is game show night. And hopefully tonight we will actually manage to get, as you can see at the bottom, the panel attack quiz 25 game working tonight. Whether or not that happens, it remains to be seen. It is strange. It is like the first login doesn't link. So it's like basically you link, you log out, you relink, and you log back in. I am not sure. And I have no way of testing the broadcast beforehand. That's the part I don't get. That is the part that just makes no sense to me. Plus, I think my PS4 is dying because it keeps making these beep, beep, beep sound over and over and over. Which has me worried, because then I gotta go unlink everything, go get a new one, unlink everything off of this one, and so on and so forth. But it is one of the things I look forward to, is I either get a message from Emrys or a notification from Turtle, usually that tells me it's not working. Yes, Emrys, it had to be, I don't know if it's a bug, if it's my system, or if it is just something. But it is like I have to start the stream, wait a few minutes, close the stream, and then reopen the stream for it to connect. I am not sure. No, it is. I am thinking that the eject button is kind of sticking, so it keeps trying to eject something that's not in there. I think. I don't know, because I know it started happening after the Batman disc got corrupted somehow. The whole disc is kaputski, so I'm going to basically, I think, wipe the save for Batman off the machine, free up about 50 megs, and never finish the game. It may be Emrys, I am not telling. I am not telling. You have to figure this one out yourself. Simply because there are no hints, there are no clues to the pre-puzzle. So you may want to scribble notes down to see if you can figure out what is what. but it is Saturday. The good news is I ordered the first sets of shirts from the 2 people that requested them. So the guys are supposed to have them made for me by next weekend. And then I will hopefully get them and ship them out like that. So if you'd please remember, if you are still interested in shirt, to send the Saint Fan PSN message so he can put together next order. I've had people say they were interested, but nobody ever followed up. So like 13 or 14 people said, we are wanting shirts. Okay, send PSN message with what you want, and I will explain how to pay it. And I send information on how to pay it, and 2 people. 2. Very, very disappointing. But what can you do? So shirts are ordered. Price pile is actually fuller than I thought it was. But I am not happy with all the price. So I think I have next week. No, I have to pay house note next week. So I may get like 1 major prize next week, and then a couple of major prizes the following 2 weeks, and then set up for 24-hour stream. No, not yet. Same old shirt, just without the Ustream label on it. So it no longer says live from PlayStation and Ustream. It just says live from PlayStation. I'm still trying to figure out what I want for fancy catchphrase for second shirt. I am thinking Sherlock Holmes figure off to side, like silhouette. And you do not have to be Mensa, but it sometimes helps. I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't like that one. I do not like that one that much. Because when I started scribbling it down, it sounded cool. And then when I read it back, it is not so cool. It is as people would say, Kaputski in brain. It just falls flat. It just falls flat and collapses as worthless. But it has been, other than that, I have been trying to clean up old puzzles for a website that has been planned today. Because I did not realize how many pieces of old stuff I still have saved that I have not converted. So conversion was the name of the game for the most part today. Plus I am still fighting with new layout for bumper stumpers. It is not working like it should. The Visual Basic says do this. The screen says not do this. So it's like change line here, error. Change line here, error go away, but it not do what it's supposed to do. So I change other line, and it still says it do not like. It do not like the professor. I do not know why. It should make sense, but it just has something against the professor today. So today was mostly file cleanup. Hopefully I'll get a few other unarchived programs archived so they're on storage. I have not even worked on transferring old Ustream to YouTube site. That I have not even started on. We shall see how that goes. First and foremost, before I forget, I know he's probably still sleeping, but we have to congratulate Smooth and Mrs. Smooth for making their 24 hours like they said they would. Although I say GQ Smooth cheated just a little. Just a little. He ran stream, but he went to work while Mrs. GQ ran the show. That's cheating. I say that cheating. You run 24-hour stream. You should be scheduled to be there for most of 24-hour stream, even if you don't step away for 5-10 minutes. So, but I give them very major props, and I hope Angels for Alexa make some money on their GoFundMe, and I hope they got lots of love on their Facebook. But other than that, it has been quiet. I've been playing records, been working on this. I dropped in to watch the pre-party of the rant. How much you want to bet Al and how much you want to bet Dave is probably passed out by now? I believe he is. Dave just go. That man not be able to hold alcohol. If you ever want to take advantage of Dave, you give him 2 drinks, he's gone. He totally wiped out. But greetings to those of you who have just dropped in on the channel that is actually working at the moment, which is again a surprise. Like I said, I still do not know what the twist is to get the first stream working. Hopefully a bug on YouTube side, not on PlayStation side. Hopefully. But as you can see, we are going to try to adapt the opening puzzle screens for you guys on the shows. It was an idea from Mr. Nigma. So the professor do something a little simpler. The professor basically say something every puzzle lover must have. So if you can't find it, does that mean you're a real puzzle lover? That is a tough question. But you will see letters that are all mixed up that fit to make 7-letter word. You complete all 7-letter words, and somewhere in there you should find what every puzzle lover must have. It is a very unique word that you are looking for. So that is all I am looking for, is that very one word. And as you can see, the 4-letter word has stumped the show for at least 16 episodes. Tonight is episode 17. And as you may or may not be able to tell, the book is very close to being opened. So whoever wins one of the 2 games tonight, if we run a full 2 games, should have a very good chance of opening vault. It should be done tonight. And the new prize goes behind vault. I don't know which new prize yet. I will put back there. I have not decided yet. The professor is having problems picking prizes lately. The professor see one thing he like, but it overpriced. Then professor sees something else he don't like. Then professor sees something he like, he show it off. Nobody else seemed to like it. So I was like, I kind of in rock and hard place. That is the phrase, right? Rock, hard place, professor in middle. If not, go well. But again, for pre-puzzle, and we will not be giving answer to this unless it gets solved. You are attempting to find something every puzzle lover must have. So this is one of those where you may want your notepads and just this word and this word and this word and this word, because this puzzle does not self-reveal at any point. So this is one of those that you have to work for. No, turtle, it is not dace. Dace or daisy is not our 4-letter word. But I am going to leave this up for 1 minute while I refill Professor Juice. I refill the Professor Juice. Make Professor very, very happy. Make Professor good host tonight. As long as you stay a YouTube work, if you be very happy. If YouTube not work, we not be happy. But Professor making strange mixed drinks tonight. Professor having guava.
This book holds the secrets of life. You take the secrets, I'll take your life.
And as you can see, mystery book get moved. Mystery book going off way too often when it was on the desk. Ah! That's not good. That's not good. The professor broke himself. Professor looked like idiot on camera. Professor break himself and break the mustache. If you'll get the words, the next step is to find the word. It's always going to be a two-part puzzle. Or with the Riddler's case, it was like a four-part puzzle. But there will always be at least two steps. The words going across will give you the secret word. No. The ginger ale, that's too strong for the professor. Professor has tried guava, papaya, ginger ale, and cranberry. Once you figure out the list of words, Amethyst, it should be obvious. It should be obvious. I was going to hint to you where it was, but that would make it too easy. At least I thought it would make it too easy. I do not make them as tough as Mr. Riddler though, with no instructions. But I make them so that you should be able to see it once you resolve the 9 words. But we will let this run for about 7 more minutes. And while we are letting this run, the professor will bounce off camera for 1 second. Again. Because the professor gets done with his Doctor Who episodes. The professor gets done watching his school win. So the professor very happy today. Plus he saw New Orleans win on Thursday, so Professor triple happy. 3 times the happy. And I won my fantasy football game last week. I beat Ronnie. Mr. Mexico lost to the professor. I'm thinking I need to change my fantasy football team league to the professor's idiot. Because they have looked like idiots for almost every week, except for last week. I have all these star players, and they cannot break double digits. They are that bad players. Okay, it stay in place. Professor Stash stay in place, so Professor is very, very happy at the moment. And yes, I still Mr. Enigma's pointer. I like this. It feels right. Only because the Professor does not have his own pointer. It's one thing I do think I need for the Professor. The Professor does need his own pointer. But again, we are looking for something every puzzle lover must have. So if you can't find it, you must ask yourself if you are a puzzle lover. Because you may not be. You may be a puzzle liker. You may be a puzzle hater. What else might you be? A puzzle indifferent person? Yes, you might be a puzzle indifferent person. Professor thinks there's another word out there, but I'm not sure what the word is that I am looking for. So again, we are looking for 9 words. You do not think you have all 9 words right. I will tell you, let me make sure. These are not very difficult 9 words. These are all 9 very common words. The secret word for the puzzle is not so common. So you just have to know where to look. Oh, they're not good. See, these all sorts of issues today. PS4 is not liking me. PS4 is being pain in butt. First to go beep happy, and then it failed to connect on alright, we will try this again. See if I can get system to reconnect as we wait for it to boot. That's what I think is my PS4 that is acting funny. Good. Boot up your silly machine. Let us see what Emily thinks. I will be very interested to know what Mr. Emery thinks, to see if he can figure out what the item is that we are looking for. You indeed have the 9 words, Emrys. I will tell you that now. You do indeed have the 9 words. Now you have to figure out what is in those 9 words that every puzzle lover must have. And again, the magic word is not a common word. I will tell you that now. The magic word is not a common word. Yes, the app is acting up. Damn it. I cannot have a single episode that does not have technical problems. It can't happen, can it? It just do not like me. I do not know why. You do have the 9 words. So what are we looking for our magic 10th word? So again, something that every puzzle lover must have. And believe it or not, I pretty much pulled this puzzle out of a book that I had. I made no changes to it. It does not want to start the app, which means we're stuck with the music that is playing for now. We are stuck with it. We will try to really connect the app in a little bit. Maybe. Hopefully. Load, so I get to the game. There we go. Maybe. You indeed have the 9, Emily's. We are waiting to see if you can come up with the magic word of the night. And basically, ladies and gentlemen, what I am doing is I am basically swapping a little bit of the pre-stuff. In fact, we just hit the 30-minute mark on the timer, so I will reveal the answer in a minute. It will vary between What's My Line broadcast and straight word puzzles. The reason is getting tough to fool some people with the What's My Line lines. So I have people that are guessing them after 1 or 2 clues. And I basically said I was going to let it run all the way through no matter what. So, Emily's came up with the 9, but he cannot come up with the 10th. The 10th, Emily's, is right down the middle. Goes straight down the middle. No. There we go. And see what you get. Go straight down the middle on your 9 words. For this puzzle, it was right down the middle. If I redo this puzzle with other words, it may be down the 2nd column, maybe the 5th column, maybe the 3rd column, or maybe it will go up the columns. I don't know yet. But the word that you were looking for is erudition. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We are giving you a new vocabulary word to learn for the day. Erudition. That is what we were looking for. E-R-U-D-I-T-I-O-N. It is something that every puzzle lover must have. And if you want to know why, go check out dictionary.com, Oxford Dictionary, or one of those other amazing reference books that every household should have besides the internet. You'll keep your kids safe and you'll still teach them. But the word we are looking for was erudition. Now I wait for someone to... Now see, if you wrote them horizontal, you should be very easy to see, because it should go right across the paper. the word we are looking for was erudition. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to start the game show tonight. So what we will do is we will turn down the music a little. That's not what I want. That's what I want. Just a little bit. We will close this out, so bear with me. The trick is you have to write them in the same order. If you did not write them in the same order, then you might have problems. Very correct, Mark. That is exactly what erudition is. Alright, as always, ladies and gentlemen, we always start with the open game, but as I only have 4 viewers on the channel, we are going to flip-flop that. So, we are going to try to get this to work tonight. And I know 3 of you were here previously. So the first few questions should be very, very easy. We had Emily's, Mark, and Turtle. Do I have a 4th participant? That is the question. Do I have a 4th participant? Oh, see, now I'm only down to 2 people on the channel. So we wait to see who is still here with us. That's the one thing YouTube needs. YouTube needs like a channel list. And the pin tap did not stay on. I lose more pin taps this way. I actually had one totally dry out on me. Because I was sitting there one day, and I'm sitting there and I'm flipping the pin back and forth, and the marker top just goes flying across the room. I had never found it. So it completely dried out on me. Alright, so I definitely have 3 on the channel at the moment, which means we can actually start with the close game tonight. And we shall see if number 4 jumps in at any point. And I believe you guys remember the rules for this. So as we have 3 in, we will give Emily the red, we will give Mark white, and we will give Turtle green. And I have completely tested this every time I can think of. So if you guys come up with a situation that blows it up, I'm blaming the channel. Because I went through every possible connotation that I could think of at the time while I was working on this. So again, if you guys remember the previous show, the first 2 out of 3 questions should be very easy to remember. So remember, we are playing this as the game of Go. I have to reset the colors. Providing the PC works. Now it worked completely during the pre-test, but it did slow down one time, so we will have to see what happens. Let me let the machine load it all up first and foremost. So if it dies during this one, I'm going to say this game is cursed. I really think that. I had for breakfast muffins and poached eggs. There we go. Had to wait for the machine to load. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get a complete run of the game known as Panel Attack Quiz 25. We shortened the name down to Panel 25 Quiz. So again, Emery's will be red, Mark will be white, and Turtle will be green. As you guys are the only three on the channel, you guys pretty much get a free shot at the vault here shortly. Whoever wins this out. So again, we get started with the very first question. In the John Paul Sartre play, known Exit, the main character Garson states that hell is for whom? In the John Paul Sartre play, No Exit, the main character Garson states that hell is for whom? So that is what we are looking for. Correct, Emery's. Hell is for other people. And Emery's is in red, which means red takes the first square. And Emery's, oh, Mark, you have to remember the one rule. You are therefore out of the next question unless Emery's and Turtle both miss. So Emery's, it is your choice as to the next box, and it must be in contact with a colored box. So basically any one of these center squares. Now I know why scientists have bad eyesight. These glasses do not work well. No, you cannot choose number one, Emery's. It must be in contact with the colored square. So you may only choose 7, 8, 9, 12, 14, 17, 18, or 19. Number 18. No. Oh, no. The test worked. I know the test worked. It did it again. Hold on. I know these tests work. I ran these full tests. No. This game is cursed. This game ran completely correct. I know it did. It saved. I'm not, this is ridiculous. I am not happy. I ran the complete test on this program. I have another one already ready, Mark. Trust me. This game, I swear, is cursed. I really believe that. Oh. I know what it is. Damn it. Trust me. Is that what it was? I am not happy. I know this thing worked. I'm gonna check one thing real quick. But yes, I have another close game ready. if it did this. I just have to. That is definitely. See it. It is definitely cursed. It's even got the right date. I don't get it. Alright, let me check something real quick. Okay. See, it works there. Why is it not working on the other version? Alright, if it don't work, I will jump to other one. There we go. But it is important historically. The Pony Express only lasted from 1860 to 1861, but was rendered obsolete by the first transcontinental what? And again, Emrys and Turtle, you are the only ones that can answer these questions, as Mark is locked out for one question. Correct, Turtle. It was indeed the telegraph. Which means green takes the square. And Mark is back in the game. Alright, Turtle. It is your choice as to where we go next. So again, you can choose any number that is connected via color. Where would you like us to go now, Turtle? Number 19. What is the term for a layer of rocky material which often begins at the water table, usually gravel or sand, from which water can be harvested? Greetings, sir. Welcome to Wits. Now that the game is actually working correctly, I am very, very happy. What is the term for a layer of rocky material which often begins at the water table, usually gravel or sand, from which water can be harvested? It is not bedrock, it is not granite. You guys can still guess on this one. But if Emrys gets it, you are both locked out on the next question. And Emrys basically gets free shot. What is the term for a layer of rocky material? As you are in, you will be my fourth player, and you are my blue player. So we are looking for the term for a layer of rocky material which often begins at the water table, usually composed of granite or sand, gravel or sand, from which water can be harvested. The straw did not like me. Nope, it is not dredging. Yes, you can, sir. You are my fourth player, as you are the fourth one that was in the room to speak up. What is the name for a layer of a rocky material which often begins at the water table, usually gravel or sand from which water can be harvested? Correct, Mark. It is the aquifer. The aquifer. And as such, Mark, you are still in this one. And we will give you the white square. And that means that Emery's is out for this one, and Turtle is out for this one. So this next question will be for the Mark or the Surf. Mark, where would you like us to go next? Number 14. Number 14, and here is the question. So again, if Mark and Surf both guess wrong, then Emery's and Turtle is back in. In 2014 Atlantic Magazine, Caitlin Flanagan wrote about the dark power of what organizations? In 2014, yep. If the chat line's working, let me make sure. Yes, everybody got it wrong. So Mark gets 1 free guess at this. Mark. No, Surf didn't guess, so Surf is still in it. So Mark and Surf each are basically racing for this. Correct, Mark. It was indeed Greek fraternities, which gives another white square and puts Emery's and Turtle back in the game. And Mark, it is your choice as to where we go next. Number 9. Number 9 is indeed a valid square. And here is the question. Mengistu Haile Mariam started the Red Terror in what country by claiming to have bottles filled with the blood of his enemy before he would smash them in the ground? Mengistu Haile Mariam started the Red Terror in what country by claiming to have bottles filled with the blood of his enemy before he would smash them in the ground? So that is what we are looking for, is the name of the country where the Red Terror started by Mengistu Haile Mariam. And I'm hoping I pronounce it right because I don't want him smashing blood on me. No, Turtle, it is not Kenya. Correct, Mark. It was indeed Ethiopia. which puts another Vite on the board. And Turtle, you are locked out on this next question. Surf, Mark, and Emery, it is still eligible to you. Mark, where would you like to go? And like I said, it's the spell. I'm not as worried about the spelling on this one, Mark, so don't worry about misspellings as long as we can make out what you put in there. If we were doing Scrabble or That's the Question or $1 Million Chance of a Lifetime, the spelling would matter a little more. Number 4. All right. And again, Turtle, you are out of this unless Mark and Emery's guess are wrong. Or it's Surf. Sorry, I keep forgetting Surf is in this game. In the play The Alchemist, one of the characters is supposed to say is told to put what in each of his sensory organs and then cry hum and buzz 3 times. In the play The Alchemist, one of the characters is told to put what in each of his sensory organs, then cry hum and buzz 3 times. Hey, as long as the chat's running fast, Henry's, I don't complain about either of them. Nope, Mark, it is not Dapper. So Emery's, your guess, Emery's and Surf. You know, I may change that part of the rule. So if you guess wrong, you cannot second guess. Yeah, I think we're going to change that one. Now that I see how it's doing, because it's going to affect the game. So if you guess wrong, I tell you you guess wrong, you cannot answer this question again till the other 3 players, the other players all take a chance. So Emery's, Turtle, and Surf. Nope, I know it's not Dapper. Let me make sure, because I am pretty sure it is. It's a very specific item. Oh, you're giving me the character. I don't want the character. That's the difference. Yeah, you gave me the character. That's not what we were asking for. One of the characters is told to put what in each of his sensory organs, then cry hum and buzz 3 times. All right, Emery's gives me an I don't know. Turtle and Surf. You guys each get a guess at this. Correct, Turtle. He's told to put drops of vinegar in his sensory organ. Dapper is the name of the character, but that's not what we were looking for. All right, you did not capture anything on that one, Turtle, but it is your choice. So, Turtle, where would you like to go next? Number 5. All right. And that's not a good sign when it starts doing that, because that usually means it's jumping to the next. And that means it jumped to the next screen. Damn it. I don't get it. It should not be jumping. Give me 1 minute. No, you are not out of this one, Mark. Like I said, I'm making a quick rule change on this one. I don't get it. Like I said, I tested all of them. This game is just not liking me. It really isn't. And the PC got hung. That's the other thing, because I think this one uses so many resources. If I don't get it exactly right, it kills me. Yep, the PowerPoint presentation hung. Damn it. Like I said, I debugged this one like forever. I don't get it. I really don't. Alright. Damn it. I really don't want to have to go back to like using Tuesdays as total test days, but it looks like I'm getting to that point. Like I said, I don't know why. I honestly do not know why it goes into non-responding on that one. Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta get out of this because the mustache keeps wanting to come off. There's no reason it should be doing that. Like I said, I think it's the fact that it's the only Japanese one that I've been able to convert. To any format. I don't know, maybe I should keep those on. No, it's killing my eyes is what it's doing. Alright. Damn it, I honestly do not know what is wrong with that one. Because it should not be that broke, but what can you do but fix it? So I will be spending all day tomorrow fixing this stupid thing again. Like I said, it was supposed to be fixed. It really was. All right, I'm gonna keep you guys, you four, as my close guys, and I do have a fallback for that though, because I was expecting sort of a nightmare on that one. All right.
Did you not sense my presence? These books.
We're gonna convert this to a 4-man tournament. just since we started closed, I want to stick with closed on this. Now, I'm hoping this is not the one I debugged incorrectly. Oh, come on, open up. Yeah, pretty much Nope Attack 25. Like I said, I got to figure out what's wrong with it. Like I said, I've spent all day like cleaning up the old ones. And I probably should have done like one more full test run on it. But I didn't. Alright, come on, open up. Not a PC saying it's not responding. So, bear with me. I gotta wait for the technical glitch to go out. Nope, Turtle, it is not done. Alright. Let's go find ones that have not been used. It's like I do all this prep work and it dies. All right. Where is the correct episode? There it is. Because I know this one has not been used yet. Okay. We're going to go to some little old school. Some tic-tac-toe. Or in this case, Hollywood squares. Now, what this will be is a 4-man tournament. Emery's will take Mark on in the first round. Turtle and Surf will take each other on in the second round. Surf, I hope you're still here, because I haven't seen many comments from you. This was not going to be my fallback game, but as I had Surf did say something at one point. I'm assuming Surf is here. So Surf, if you're here, speak up for me. Okay, you're there. Alright, we're going to start with Turtle versus Surf. Alright, Turtle will be X's, Surf will be O's. And the rules are simple. If you answer the question correctly, you get the square. If you don't answer it correctly, your opponent can answer it to take the square from you. If he misses, then you get your shot back, and so on and so forth. Alright? Turtle, I'm going to give you first choice as the X. Which square would you like to take? And you only have 90 seconds. 90 seconds once I finish the question to give me the answer based on that timer up here. So we're going to start with Turtle versus Surf, and then we're going to go for Mark versus Emirates. And then tomorrow I'm going to fix that damn board game. I think it's a beautiful idea. It's a beautiful layout. I just got to get it working. And I thought I had it. No, no, no. Paul Lynde will always be the center square. Whoopi Goldberg has nothing on Paul Lynde. Alright, here's the question. What is the last album that was released by the Beatles? And Turtle, this question is for you. And again, you have 90 seconds with which to supply the answer. What is the last album that was released by the Beatles? Now, see, what I'm interested in seeing is if I remove the chat from the screen, will the comments still show up on the application? That was going to be my test Tuesday, but as I was occupied, and indeed it was, Let It Be. Let It Be was indeed the right one. So X takes the center square. Alright, Surf. It is your choice. Where would you like to go? Now, for those of you that haven't been with us when we've done closed games before, if we got enough viewers on the show, it was going to run exactly like the show, where basically there were 9 players or 9 stars. They were not contestants, and they could give their silly answer or their serious answer. The one problem I have encountered from that was that you couldn't always hear whoever was on the other end, and you had people that weren't the star that was supposed to be answering were throwing answers out. And because I didn't have like the chat line on, all right, Surf, LOT is the name for which nation's national airline? LOT is the name for which nation's national airline? And again, you have 90 seconds, so I know exactly what the timer is supposed to hit. And whoever wins this one will take on whoever wins between Emery's and Mark. Correct. It is indeed. LOT is Poland's national airline. Polskie Linii Lotnickie. And O takes that square. All right, Turtle. It is your choice. Number 6. What reportedly was the choice of cigarettes of James Bond? Only one? I know, the shots sound good right now. They really do, because I still got a bottle I can use for shots. Oh, see, Emery's saying it's not a level playing field at the moment. That's what Emery's is saying. What reportedly was the choice of cigarettes of James Bond? No, see, I'm doing mixed drinks tonight. I'm doing straight mixed drinks. No beer, no wine. No, it is not Moreland's turtle. All right, sir, if you can steal this, if you can tell me what reportedly was the choice of cigarettes of James Bond. Let's see, I've done whiskey and ginger ale, whiskey and guava. What else did I have back there? I got rum. Rum and ginger. I think it was the other one I've done. I was doing rum and guava earlier tonight, before I was watching games, while I was watching Doctor Who, while I was watching football games. I was doing rum and ginger ale. So yeah, I kind of flipped it over to whiskey and ginger ale right now. So, Surf, you can steal this. What reportedly was the choice of cigarettes for James Bond? And no, Moreland's was, is it, because I haven't talked to Al, because Al was doing his Halloween party. Is it in Buffalo or is it in Cincinnati? If it's in Buffalo, I think the Bills win. If it's in, I think the home team takes it. But no, the only thing I have for shot drinks right now is what's left of my black raspberry. That's my shot drink right now. And once I start on the whiskey, this stuff doesn't taste too good. It's in Buffalo. I'm taking the Bills. I know that'll make Al happy. I know that would make Al happy. And the good thing is I don't have the mustache, so I don't need the straw. So, Surf, what was the brand of cigarettes that James Bond used? The Morelands were the Smoking Man on X-Files. I just grabbed the guava juice. I didn't want the guava juice. Pay attention, host. So, Surf, we're looking for the answer from you. Oh, see, Al, I don't think Al does the bet thing. I think he's been burned too many times when he's been 100% sure the Bills were going to win a game. Nope, it is not Duke of Durham. So now it's basically whoever answers it first. Whoever can give me the correct answer first gets the square. What was the choice of cigarettes of James Bond? Again, this is between Surf and Turtle. Yeah, like I said, I think he got burned one too many times because I know at one point he would bet on them. And I think he lost like a couple of them in a row. Correct, Surf? It was indeed Chesterfield's belonged to James Bond. Now, see, Moreland's, Because this is the one I had to look up, because I thought when they used them on X-Files it was a tribute to James Bond. According to the books, his choice of cigarettes was Chesterfield. He basically, there's a book about Ian Fleming and everything about James Bond, and they said Chesterfields were what James Bond chose to do, but in certain books the Morelands were specified because, and I'm trying to remember how it was worded. He said it was specified in the books because that was not what he wanted. All right, Surf, you stole that one, so you can win this on one question if you wish to go for it. Number 9. All right. So basically, Surf, if you get this, you are moving on to face either Emery's or Mark. In the original game of Trivial Pursuit, history is represented by what color? In the original game of Trivial Pursuit, history, the category of history, was represented by what color? Oh yeah, somebody's got to take a shot. And it's not the host. I'll tell you what, when I get the 24, when I get the panel 24 one going, what I will probably do is, one of those days when I'm just in a goofy mood, I'm gonna make it so if you drink while you're broadcasting, while you're watching, if a square gets captured, gonna make you take the shots during the game. And is it yellow? Actually, I know it's yellow. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked. It is indeed yellow, which means Surf is moving on to round 2. Very nicely done, Surf.
Must you stick your nose into my business? I'm trying to write a horrific novel, and you have just become the tragic ending.
No, the computer needs to be shot. Actually, it needs to be replaced, because it's my work computer, but I keep it off my work network. Because it's basically, I've had it for like 7 years, and it's never been uploaded or updated other than Windows updates. Oh, see, I hate you. I go to a casino, I break even. Of course, the funny thing was, I was at the bowling alley last night, bowled like junk, and we got to talking about people that would go into the casino, and one of the girls that was there said she goes in with her friend drops a couple of coins in a slot machine and just literally walks away while it's spinning. And her friend's staying there by the machine, and all of a sudden all the lights go off on it, and it's like, you didn't come back to the machine. And she's like, what? That wasn't me. Yeah, and she almost walked away from $4,000. $4,000 on one slot machine. All right. So Surf takes round number 1. And now we're down to Emery's and Mark going at it in number 2. And do I have a coin? Let me see, because I didn't pick who was going to go first on this one. Yeah, give me a minute. Coin's in my pocket, and they don't want to come out. Ah! Alright, comes up heads, Emery's will have X. If it comes up tails, Mark will have X. And it comes up tails. All right, Mark, that means you are the X's and Emery's is the O's. And that means, Mark, you will get first choice. So, Mark, where would you like to start on this board? I did say that, right? Yeah, I said Emery's heads, Mark was tails, and it came up tails. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm sitting there like trying to remember what I just said. It's the old age getting to me. Call interference. All right, Mark. Here's the first question for you. Which king earned the nickname of Universal Spider due to his manipulation of people? Which king earned the nickname of Universal Spider due to his manipulation of people? And the timer starts. 23:17. Hey, Cork, how we doing tonight? It is up to 16 episodes. So if it doesn't get answered today, it goes up to 17. So, Mark, which king earned the nickname of Universal Spider due to his manipulation of people? Although officially you could say all of them, but not in this case. There's one that was specifically known as this. But yeah, it has been up there for 16 days, or 16 broadcasts. Correct, it is indeed Louis the 11th. King Louis the 11th of France. And that means Mark takes the center square. And Emery's, it is your choice where to go. Let's see, Mark answered, so Surf has to take the shot. They turned it into a drinking game, Quark. Jerry the King Lawler. All right, number one for Emery's. And here's your question, Emery's. Who was responsible for creating the word agnosticism in discussing the belief that there may not be a God? Who was responsible for creating the word agnosticism in discussing the belief that there may not be a God? And the 90 seconds starts now. See, I don't trust the timer button because I don't remember if I fixed it or not on this thing. I know I've put it on a couple of others and I've worked on it, but I haven't even updated this file in forever. Correct, indeed it was. Mr. Huxley, Thomas Henry Huxley, created the term agnosticism. Didn't even exist until he made the word up. All right, Mark, it is your choice. Where would you like to go? Like I said, I know which word's throwing everybody off. And it's not the one everybody's been thinking. But let's see. I spent, what did I spend today doing? I spent today actually getting about 5 Jeopardy episodes put together. So we may do a streak of Jeopardy-based shows. I haven't decided if I'm going to try a closed version of that yet or not. Because as you guys know, when I normally do them, I leave them open. But I don't do the negative points because they're open. It's only like if you get it right, you get the points. I'm giving consideration to doing that one as a closed one, including the negative points. So if you guess and you miss, you lose the points, sort of thing. But that's one of those where it's going to be limited to 3 people, and that's it. I spent today... What did I spend today working on? It was the Jeopardy one. The Bumper Stumper was the one that's ticking me off, like I said. Because for whatever reason, the Visual Basic stuff is not working. Alright, number 3 for Mark. And here is the question. I'll tell you something I noticed about the Jeopardy one in a minute. What did the Chinese call the elixir of life and that Russians claimed increased sexual energy? So Mark, that's your question. What did the Chinese call the elixir of life and that the Russians used to increase sexual energy? And your timer starts now. But because I have a site that basically kept all the old Jeopardy episodes from the pilot, from Alex Trebek's pilot on. It's scary how easy Jeopardy started as. And basically what he did was he put every question up that somebody answered. He put the wrong answers up there, and he put the right answers up there. And I'm looking at this list of all the shows, and I'm like, these have got to be the simplest questions I have ever seen for what's been considered the brainiest show on television. But I don't know, maybe it's because I've gotten older, so I remember stuff more. But it was like, they were showing some questions that were like everybody missed, and I'm looking back and I'm reading them and I'm like, how can you miss this? This is stuff that you learned back in middle school, or at least I remember learning in middle school. So again, Mark, we're looking for the answer. What did the Chinese call the elixir of life and that Russians said increased sexual energy? Like I said, I'm disappointed. I really thought I had the Go game fixed. I thought I had that thing fixed. And like I said, I don't expect a lot of people jumping on. Yeah, Art Fleming was the original Court, but like I said, they only kept because to find all the old Art Fleming shows would be probably be near impossible, because they always overwrote the videotapes. But I'm looking at some of the original shows from the Alex Trebek era, and those questions were like ridiculously simple. So, and I've only just started going back through the list to see what was on there. So I'm guessing they got to the tougher questions later on. But it was really that bad. And Mark, you got about 20 seconds left. Nope, it is not gunpowder. All right, Emery, you can steal this. What did the Chinese call the elixir of life, and that the Russians said increased sexual energy? And because you've already had time to look at the question, you only get 40 seconds. It goes from 45 seconds. It goes from 90 to 45. And then after the 45, if Emery's doesn't give it to me, it's basically whichever one of you two can get it. Correct, Emery's? It is indeed ginseng. Ginseng was the elixir of life to the Chinese, and the Russians said was... What is MSG? Oh, nope, it is not MSG. All right, Emery's. Oh, Alex did. Let's see. I'm trying to remember because I just happened to be looking at some of his shows. Let's see. He did Pitfall, High Rollers, Jeopardy, and there was one other one. And basically, the Pitfall game was miserable, and they went bankrupt. So he never got paid for that one. He did not like that company. And I forget what the other one was. There was one other. Classic Concentration came after Jeopardy, but there was another small one before Jeopardy, and I can't think of the name of it because it's him without the mustache. He doesn't have the full afro look, but you can see it starting to come in. All right, Emery's number 2, so you can win over Mark with this one if you get this right. What renowned gangster of the 1930s was actually a simple bootlegger whose reputation was actually built up by his wife? What renowned gangster of the 1930s was actually just a simple bootlegger actually built up by his wife? 90 seconds from now to give me that one. But it was Pitfall, Classic Concentration, Jeopardy, High Roll. There was one other one. But believe it or not, Trebek wasn't even the first High Rollers. Bert Convy actually had High Rollers before Trebek did. Because Bert Convy was everybody's favorite game show host at the time. You had Bert Convy, Tom Kennedy, and Alan Ludden. Those were the big, and Bill Cullen. Those were the big four. When Cullen stepped down, Convy took over, and then Trebek came in after him. Indeed, you are correct. It was George Machine Gun Kelly. He was actually what's the word I'm looking for? It's basically his wife built his reputation for him. And with that, Emery's takes out Mark in round 1, which means Emery and Surf are going to be competing for the spot. And the X's will be Surf for the next game. All right, I gotta let the graphics go through so I can move on. Dun, 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 dun. Very nicely done, Emery's. Mark, you got taken out in the round that time. All right, so between Surf and Emery's for the final round on this one, whoever gets this gets a shot at the vault with combination numbers coming off. That's the way it goes sometimes, Mark. One answer will kill you, and you're like, what did I do? That's one thing I did learn when I was watching when you watch the Hollywood Squares TV game, there was an actual strategy to playing that. It was basically if you had the chance, you always took a square that you knew wasn't going to put somebody else. What was it? is basically, for instance, if you got 5 and they've got 1, you always make sure you take one of the 2 side spots, because you know you're going to force them to play through if you miss, and they can steal. Alright, Surf, just so you know, you are X's, Emery's are O's again on this one. It's amazing, you go back, and when you first think, it's just tic-tac-toe. There is no strategy to it. And then you go back and you look at it, the trivia version, and there's a strategy to it. Because I'm sitting there watching, I don't watch Nickelodeon that often. But I'm watching Family Game Night. Don't know why. And it's like the silliest show, because it's just ridiculous stuff on board games, or not board games, but children's games, family games. And they're playing Connect 4. Well, when you're playing the board game Connect 4, it's easy, because you know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly where you're going to block and stuff like that. And they're playing basketball version. And I forget what it was, but it was like somebody went for the block on one of those and missed. And I'm like, you don't even try for something like that when you're playing when you're playing somebody else, because if you screw up or you make a mistake, they're going to kill you on it. All right, Surf, but whenever you're ready, you get to make the first choice. See, I got out of GTA. I really did. I'm wanting, like I said, the one I'm waiting for, other than Lego's Dimension, which I don't have the money for, is Uncharted 4. And then the only other game that comes out that I want is No Man's Sky. That's it. I look at the Xbox list, and I don't have a reason I want to buy an Xbox. I look at the list for the PS4, and I don't have a reason. If I didn't have one, I don't think I'd have a reason to buy one. Not anymore, anyway. Alright, Surf is going to start with number 3. Alright, Surf, here is your first question. In the 1960s, Alfred Hoffman founded what party as a protest and anti-war party? In the 1960s, Alfred Hoffman founded what party as a protest and anti-war party? Oh, see, I think Emery might know this one, because I think I've used this question before. See, I thought about buying Remastered, but that's only because I never got 3. It's the only one I haven't played. Oh, and the Vita version. I forget what the Vita one is. I've never played the Vita one. And I think that's on the Remastered collection. I think. But it just so happened when I bought 3 was when my PS3 started dying. It basically, it would run for a while, and then it would just do the shutdown. And it would run for a while, and then it would shut down. And took it in to get it fixed, and they're like, oh, it's a loose chip. And I'm like, okay, we'll solder the chip back in like you say you can do and fix it. Didn't work. Then I go in and look, and they're like, yeah, once it starts doing that, your machine's dead. Your machine is dead. Yeah, see, that's the problem, Quiet, is Uncharted 4, I think, is in February 2016, and I think No Man's Sky is February or March. I think they're coming out at the same time. Or I think they're supposed to come out close to the same time. Those are like the only 2 that are on my must-buy list. Correct, Surf. It was indeed the Yippies, the Youth International Party. And X takes that one. And Emery's, it is your choice as to where to go now. But yeah, like I said, there's just nothing out there that's grabbing my attention. Like I said, I wanted Dimensions. Oh, no Golden Abyss on the then it's not a collection. It's a partial collection. It's only a partial collection. I can't call it a remastered collection if it doesn't have all of them. See, the funny thing was, I never bought Golden Abyss, but I just decided that I was going to put Golden Abyss as my background screen on my Vita. I don't know why I did that. I just kind of like, yep, that's what I want. Question number 1 for Emery. The statue of what figure was believed to be the most kissed statue in the 1800s, as it was rumored to be believed that any woman that kissed it was destined to marry a gentleman class male? And the statue of what figure was believed to be the most kissed statue of the 1800s, as it was said that any woman that kissed this statue was destined to marry a gentleman class male? Emery's, and your timer starts now. Oh, see, I don't do ridiculous difficulty. To me, normal difficulty is good enough. If I get through the game on a normal difficulty, I'm a happy camper. Like I said, the only game that I have completely finished storyline-wise is Tomb Raider, and that was on normal. Once I finish one, because I'll be honest, I really don't have the desire to go back and do all the collectibles. But it's like I did the regular story on all the Uncharted that I had, and I didn't have it. And it's like once I finished, I didn't bother going back to go collect everything. So it's like my trophy collection is like way down there, simply because I didn't do it. Do you know if there is a historical book on it? There is. There's actually a few of them. I'm trying to think. Because there was a guy. There's a Facebook channel or Facebook page that I actually follow, and I can't think of the name of it on the top of my head. And he basically he had the books for sale. He wrote them, he followed them. I would have to go look it up to see what it is. But I do know there are a few of them. And Emery's is down to about The Fallen Knight in Italy. I need, let me see. I gotta check. Because I have, oh no, don't you. Damn it. It wasn't supposed to close. My Firefox just updated. Oh, why did it do an update? I didn't want it to do an update. Let me check and see if that's his nickname, Emery, because I didn't put his nickname down. Yeah, the problem is we gotta wait for the sequel. Now it's like Microsoft exclusive to start. Funny thing is, like I said, I gotta go play the Temple of Osiris. Because I've still got that one in the box. I haven't even opened that one. Let me check. I gotta see if that's the same one. Try to see if it's giving me a nickname of the Fallen Knight, because I don't think it's going to give me that one. Yep, I will give you that one, Emery's. I've got a valid one. The Fallen Knight, otherwise known as Giardarello Giardarelli. I had to make sure it was the Fallen Knight was a valid name for that one. All right, Surf. It is your turn. I apologize for that, Mark. Like I said, I just want to make sure that the name counted. You see, I played Guardian of Light. I never finished it. The Temple of Osiris, like I said, I bought it because it was downloadable only. So I'm like, what the heck? I bought it. Right after I bought it, PlayStation Store did their update. Guess which game came out on PlayStation Store? Alright, number 9 for Surf. What childhood game held its first international championship in 2002? What childhood game held its first international championship in 2002? So you already took 9. When you say one thing and you meant another. I've been there, done that many a times. And it's really bad when you're playing a poker game and you do that. I did that once in a poker game. I'm sitting there on... What am I sitting? I'm sitting on 3 of a kind, hoping for the full house. And I see the card flip over. And me not thinking, full! And I said it, and it's like, what did I just do? What did I just do? Of course, I got even later. I got even later for one. Because we are sitting there playing a poker game, and I'm sitting on the straight flush. So I know I got the game won. I've only done that twice in my lifetime. The Osiris one was 1, and what was the other one? I want to say Mod Nation Racers. I think. No. It wasn't Mod Nation Racers. It was I'm trying to think, because I gave all my games to my father-in-law. I gave him all my PS3 role-playing games. And it was one of the role-playing games for the PS3. And it was like, right after I bought it, when you know it, came out for free. Correct, Surf. It was indeed the Rock, Scissors, Paper had their first championship, official championship, in 2002. All right, Emery's, it is your choice. Where would you like to go next? I'm trying to remember which one it was, though. But like I said, it's only happened to me twice. And both times it was frustrating, as you know. All right, Emery's is going to go for the block with 6. All right, Emery's, here's your question. The Davis Cup is tennis's international competition. What country appeared in 23 straight Davis Cup finals between 1946 and 1968? And the timer starts now. The Davis Cup is tennis international competition. What country appeared in 23 straight Davis Cup finals between 1946 and 1968? But yeah, like I said, I was going to go out today. I did the T-shirt thing for Cork and Miami, and I looked at my bank account, and I'm like, I can't do any more costumes right now, because I figured out what I was going to do for the next one. Since I can't do Sherlock Holmes, because like I said, I'm not spending $250 for the shawl. Correct, Emery's. It was indeed Australia. Between 1946 and 1968, Rod Laver in particular was the man of the hour. All right, Surf, it is your choice. Woo. Oh, Little Big Planet 2. That was the other one that happened to me on. I bought Little Big Planet 2 because I was a huge Sackboy fan, and then that's the one that they, for whatever reason, broke with what they said they weren't going to do. And they gave that one away. That was the one I could remember of. I can't be a draw, Emery's. Somebody's got to get, if nobody can get tic-tac-toe, somebody's got to get 5 of them. All right, number 7. Mark Twain, in a harsh critique of this classic novel, said that it broke 114 offenses against literary art out of a possible 115. Mark Twain, in a harsh critique of this classic novel, said that it broke 114 offenses against literary art out of a possible 115. And the timer starts now, Surf. But yeah, like I said, I'm still my one concern now about going closed is if I have another night where I just did the order, got the order put in today, Cork. Like I said, I'm not worried about the shipping cost. I appreciated it though. Um, like I said, I got it to him today, and I found out the guy that normally makes the shirt has actually been on vacation for a couple of weeks. He's actually been out of town doing the hunting thing. So he said he's supposed to be back by next weekend, and he'll have them made for me. And hopefully I'll get them shipped out like almost immediately afterwards. Because payday is Friday, so I'll have a little bit of pocket money, not counting the major bills I gotta pay. Correct, Surf. It was indeed the Deer Slayer. Jane Fenimore's Cooper the Deer Slayer. And the funny thing is, I think supposedly Twain and Cooper were actually really good friends. I think. I'm not sure on whether or not they were actually friends or massive enemies or rivals. But I thought I read that they were friends, and he still said that about him. All right, Emery's, it is your choice. That means more shots, right? You get in trouble, you drink more, you forget about your troubles. Number 8. So I will admit, I'm surprised you didn't go with 5, because that would have given you at least the line. There is a common household object that chemically is known as magnesium sulfate. What specifically do we know it as? I need the specific one. There's a common household object that chemically is known as magnesium sulfate. What specifically do we know it as? Oh, trust this one to go to the science teacher. If he doesn't get the specific one on this, he needs to be ashamed of himself. I gotta keep remembering to quit sticking my foot under the bottom of my stool. I really do. Now, see, that's why I use the little highball glass. Correct. It is indeed Epsom salts. Epsom salts are magnesium sulfate. And with that, O takes that one. And Surf, it is your choice. Love my Halloween book. And the best part is like my voice doesn't set it off, but any loud clattering sets him going. Alright, number 5. So Surf, if you get this, you've won the game and you get your shot at the vault. Bank robber Harvey Bailey had stolen $2 million in 1930, the most ever recorded at the time. What was he doing when he was actually arrested by the FBI? Bank robber Harvey Bailey had stolen $2 million in 1930, the most ever recorded at the time. What was he doing when he was arrested by the FBI. Like I said, I'm going to fix these so I get the... Having breakfast and pissing off the clerks. See, I had to laugh when I heard that story. I heard that McDonald's employees are complaining that they have to serve breakfast during the day. How can you work at McDonald's and complain? I hated it when I had to do fast food. But the restaurant said we cook certain things at certain times. We cook certain things at certain times. All right, Surf. Bank robber Harvey Bailey had stolen $2 million in 1930, the most ever recorded at the time. What was he doing when he was arrested by the FBI? Ah, damn it. It wasn't supposed to do that. Crap. Alright, fallback question. Because either Emery saw it or Surf saw it, so I'm going to find a fallback question for that one. Give me a minute. No, don't want to use that one. I've used that one before. And we've just got done using that one. Alright, fallback question. I did not know the timer was set on that one. I can't. Sorry, Emery's technical difficulties means I have to throw the question out. Alright. So, Emery's, I give you the chance to take this. The first European settlement in New England was found in what present-day state? So, Emery's, that's the question. The first European settlement in New England was found in what present-day state? Yeah, this is the board. Alright, so take that out, take that out, take that out. It wasn't kidnapping, Surf. Problem was, like, right when you... It was not kidnapping. Because he gave me the answer right as the slide swapped. Okay, it just so happened if it had done it sooner, I would be giving this to Surf. Now, I saw your kidnapping comment right when it swapped, Surf. Right after I saw it. Nope, Emery's, it is not Florida. Alright, Surf, so here's the question. Again, you get this question now. It's the same question. What In what present day state was the first New England colony on the United States? Let me make sure I read that question. I saw the kidnapping one right before it flipped. All right, Surf. You get the question. The first European settlement in New England was found in what present-day state? Emery said Florida, so he missed it. I gotta figure out why that one flipped. I was gonna figure out why that one flipped. So, Surf, this question is for you now. The first European settlement in New England. Nope, it is not Massachusetts. So, Emery's? It is... Nope, I'll take that back. You both took a guess, so now it's a race. Like I did with Mark and... with Turtle and Surf earlier. It's the first person that can give me this one. The first European settlement in New England would be found in what present-day state? Nope, it is not Virginia. Not Rhode Island and not New Hampshire. And Surf got it with the speed typing. It was indeed Maine. The first European settlement in the United States was indeed in present-day Maine off the, and I gotta remember the name, Kennesaw River, I think is the name of it. So there you go, Surf. You have just taken Hollywood Square's closed game tonight. Congratulations. Congratulations, Surf. You took that one. Yes, he was. He was putting out every state name he could think of. That's the trick. When you get to the speed ones, you just go with everything you can and pray you get in going first. All right. That means, Surf, you get a chance at the vault. I'm going to turn... Oh, I got to just take the clown out of the way, and I got to get out of the way so you can see what's left. Very nicely done, Surf. So we're definitely taking one number out of this, at least the second row. So you get a chance to lock in two numbers if you can get the first and third question right. All right. Let me find. All right. I'm going to ask you, Surf, 3 questions about an author that detailed his experiences when he was using hallucinatory drugs. All right? Remember, you have to give me all 3 answers. If you don't know one of them, make sure you type in the word pass or IDK or something so I know that you're not answering it, because I will take them in the order of the answers. So the first thing you put up would be 1, second 2, the third will be 3. All right? I need to know the following 3 answers. I need to know the author who wrote about William Farnaby washing up on the shores of the kingdom of Pala in his novel Island. I need to know the author who wrote about William Farnaby washing up on the shores of the kingdom of Pala in his novel Island? Second question. In this novel, it's a different novel by the same author, John the Savage hangs himself in a lighthouse. Bernard Marx loves the lady named Lenina Crown in the same novel. In the novel by the same author, John the Savage hangs himself in a lighthouse, and Bernard Marx loves the lady named Lenina Crown in the novel. The third question. This drug is widely used throughout that novel for the second question, and it is described as Christianity without tears. This drug is widely used throughout the second novel, the second question, and is described as Christianity without tears. Alright, you're going to go with Huxley. I assume that's answer number 1. So I need answer number 2 and answer number 3 in the 90-second window. And again, I do not read once I read the 3 questions twice, I don't read them again. So you got to have memory and pray I don't slur my words on the questions. So we have Huxley for answer number 1, Brave New World for answer number 2, and answer number 3 will be, you have about 35 seconds left. While I'm waiting for those last couple of seconds, I'm going to go check something real quick because I want to see why that one flipped that. Because I want to see why it flipped this one screen it shouldn't have flipped. And Soma. And indeed it is. Aldous Huxley did write the novel Island. John the Savage did hang himself in the Brave New World. And the drug that was regularly used in Brave New World was indeed Soma. Christianity without tears. It's like one of my favorite books I ever read. Alright, where is that question? So you get all 3 of them. So that means 4 numbers are coming off the board. So I will tell you right now, we know the first number in the combination is a 2. The second number in the combination is either a 7 or an 8. The third number is either a 4 or a 6. And the fourth number in the combination is definitely a 7. Alright? So, Surf, you got about a 1 in 4 chance of getting this. So it's down to about a 25% chance that you're going to knock this out. We know the first number is a 2. The second number, or the last number, is a 7. The second number is either a 7 or an 8. And the third number is either a 4 or a 6. What 4-digit combination do we want to try? And I just realized I took the sound effect out because I needed it for my PC. So what 4-digit combination do we want to try, sir? Again, we know it's going to start with a 2. Second number is either a 7 or an 8. The third number is either a 4 or a 6. And the last number is definitely a 7. Two, 8, 4, 7 is 2, 8, 4, 7, our combination to the vault. Ladies and gentlemen, Surf has just unlocked the vault for the night. Ta-da, ta-da! 2, 8, 4, 7 is indeed it. So, Surf, congratulations, sir. You are the winner of the following prize. The Firefly Out to Black card game. Surf, that is yours. Congratulations, sir. Which means I need you to send me a PSN message with your mailing address. And I will get this out to you hopefully this weekend. And we will get that sent out as soon as I can. See, I always promise you guys I'm going to put stuff back there. Sometimes it's great stuff, sometimes I just don't know. Speaking of which, that means I got to reload the vault. So give me 1 minute because I got to find, I'm still trying to find where I put that slide. I want to see what I did with that thing. For whatever reason, that was the other thing I was sitting here looking for. So again, sir, just send me your mailing address and put your name on it, because the post office does not like when I don't put names on addresses. They got on to me when I did the big 24-hour series. They got on to me for trying to send out sending out packages to no-namers. But yeah, send that to me on PSN. And I will get that out to you as soon as I can. Florida killed Emery's and ginseng killed Mark. that's the way it goes sometimes. All right, I can't find that slide. It's in here somewhere. Because I know it was box 5. Alright, give me 1 minute. Like I said, I'm trying to find this slide so I can get this thing. I just want to see what it was doing wrong. Yeah, like I said, they do not like when I don't send them by full name. And the funny thing is, I thought the UPS store wouldn't mind, and they're just as bad about it. They basically say it's a concern over people shipping stuff they're not supposed to ship. Because I lied and said I told one person it was an eBay account, and I didn't get a real name from them, and they said, okay, but next time, we're not doing it. All right, give me 1 minute to find something to throw behind there again. Oh, I know what was going behind there this time. All right, me 1 minute while I drop that back there. So I'll reset the vault here shortly. But yeah, they definitely do not like it when you don't put full names on there. They're kind of picky. It's because there's too much government stuff with them. And when we do that, you would think so, Emery's, but like I said, for some reason they gave me a hard time about it. And I don't know why they did it. Alright, what do I have that's sticking up on that other one? Oh, I know what's sticking up on that other window. Give me a minute, I gotta figure out what was sticking up on the far window that I hadn't moved over. Get that out of the way. There we go. Well, the only thing I don't like about UPS stores is they charge you full price for overseas shipping. Because I told them I was like, I've shipped stuff to the UK, and they basically said it's $100 for overseas shipping. And I'm like, I'll stick to the U.S. Post Office. They don't charge me for the overseas stuff that much. They do not charge me $100 for whatever reason to ship to the UK. If it's domestic, I'll stick with UPS stores in a heartbeat if I can. All right, and in 1 minute while I put another number up. Dun, 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 dun. So we are going to throw another number up here. Also means I got to reset the vault. Well, see, they never give me a problem when I ship stuff overseas. They never have. I don't know if it's just because they like me, because they know me, or because I've been in there so many times shipping out packages lately. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, the post office. Well, let me rephrase it. There's one lady at the post office that she seems to like me in that regards and never gives me a hard time. And then I got another one that basically is a nightmare to deal with. Okay, what the hell went wrong there? There we go. Alright, so give me a minute to get the vault set back up. Like I said, the next prize is already behind it. I just have to put everything back together. But ladies and gentlemen, now see, that's the thing I don't get. It's like, it's for the UPS store, it's 2 to 4 days pretty much regardless. It's like, I don't think I've ever shipped out a package at the UPS store that's taken more than 4 days to get anywhere. It never has. Oh, I think my vault board is bent. board is bent slightly. But like I said, it's that fact that they wanted to charge me $100 for shipping across the ocean that just kind of like soured me. It's like I'm paying shipping and handling. I'm not paying $100 for shipping and handling for what was at the time, I think, a $10 game I had shipped over. I think. Timber. Get the vault put back together, guys, and then we will start on the open game. Alright, get the vault back up. Oh, see, that's us. At the office, they do FedEx. Well, you have to kind of find a balance somewhere in there. You really don't have a choice. If it was one of those things where I absolutely had to get it there in the 2 to 4 days, then it would be going UPS. No ifs, ands, or buts. They're better than FedEx, in my opinion. More reliable than the post office. And they will find the weird addresses. The funny thing was, I had, when we had done the when I had done the 24-hour stream, I had shipped a package, I want to say to Michigan. And the girl had given me the address, did not put on her address, apartment, whatever number. She gave him the right street address, she gave him the right zip code, she gave him everything but the apartment number. I got it shipped back to me like within 2 days from the post office, saying this doesn't exist. So I sent her a message back, and I'm saying, why did man? You're sure this is the address? And she says, oh yeah, if you don't put apartment 22 and a half or whatever apartment number was, and she said you had to put the half on there, or they won't get it to me. And I'm like, it's an apartment complex. I understand you got to get it to the person, but really, you just miss the apartment number and they don't deliver? That was one of those few things that rubbed me the wrong way. But yeah, it always comes down to cost versus efficiency. To me, it's always going to be cost first, then efficiency, as long as I know it's going. As long as I know it's getting there, I'm satisfied. And like I said, so far I've only ever had one prize come back that I was completely unable to ship out. And that's simply, let me make sure. Oh, that's because I clicked the wrong board. That's because I clicked the wrong board. Because the address actually had the name and the apartment complex name in it. So I would have thought, and like I said, I've never lived in an apartment complex. I would have thought if it had the apartment complex, there's a mailing office at those places where they take those things. But it's one of those things I've never done, so I don't know. But like I said, I've only had 2 ever shipped back, and the one was the apartment, and the other was, it was just an address that didn't exist, I guess, because they said they tried it twice or 3 times and there was nowhere to send it to. No, actually I had that one marked in my use game board, Emery. Alright guys, we're going to run the open game now. So this is open to everybody on the channel. Yeah, that is true. Like I said, because that is true. There's not always one, so it's possible. Alright, let me make sure I haven't used this one. That's what I was looking at. I was trying to look at in my... There it goes. Okay, I don't think I've used this one. Alright. For those of you that don't know, Now You See It was a show hosted by Tom Kennedy, and it was basically a word search. And the theme of the show was the answers will always be right in front of your face. They will be right there for you to see. You just have to point them out. On the original game, it was set up with teams of 2, where one person would, if they would see the row, and they would tell out what row number it was. The other person would then have to find the actual word. So let's say in the normal game show, Emery and Mark were a team, and we got let this game going, and Emery swears it's in row number 5. He would call out the number 5, and then Mark would have to find it in row number 5. Alright. So ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Now You See It. Alright, Mark, well, I appreciate it. I hope you had fun with everything, even with the damn Go bug. See, I'm almost tempted to say, screw this, I'm just going to pull the Go game back up and see if we can fix it on air. But that would be boring to watch. I really think it would. Plus, I set some stuff up, so I have to do a lot of work to get it fixed. Actually, I will do that while we're doing this. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time now for Now You See This. And as you can see, the first clue is, let's get this game going. If it is in row 1, it's a 1-point word. If it's in row 2, it's a 2-point, and so on and so forth down the line. For instance, let's get this game going starts as a 3-point word. Alright, Surf. Like I said, I hope everybody had fun. Not counting the bugs and the bugaboos and all the nightmares. And like I said, Surf, just send me a PSN message. The Saint Fan with the name and the address, and I will get that out to you as quick as I can. I got a lot of stuff I gotta pay for and ship and buy and things like that. So it may take me till not this Friday, like 3 Fridays from now to get it out, depending on my paycheck this week. Correct. It was indeed begin. Nicely done, Emerys. And that puts you at 3 to start things. And I need my small pen. There it is. That's why I went digging for it. Alright. And the next clue. Don't overexert yourself or else. And we are looking for a 1-point word. Don't overexert yourself or else. I know, my wife's got like a steak sitting up there waiting for me, and I still haven't eaten it yet. I I gotta go get my steak here at some point. And Emery's nails it again with strain. Don't overexert yourself or else you will be getting a strain. Alright, the next clue on the board. Can't find the thing because of all these trees. Can't find a thing because of all these trees. And we are looking for a 5-point word on this one. So it's one of the big pointers on this one. Can't find a thing because of all these trees. And Emery's quick on the draw again. You sure I ain't used this one before, Emery's? But indeed, it is a forest. All right. Not in this lifetime. Not in this lifetime. And where's the word for there it is? And we're looking for a 4-point word. Not in this lifetime. See, the funny thing is, that's scary because I don't remember using that one before. I've seen myself using that first clue before. So it's like, did I go all the way through this board, or did I have? Was this one of those where I just had it up as the example? Not in this lifetime. Nope, turtle is not ever. And I need to mark in 1 minute. Correct, turtle. It's not ever, but it's never, as in not in this lifetime. All right, and the next clue on the board. You cute little weasel, you. You cute little weasel, you. And again, it's a 4-point word on this one. Put my note with the prize so I can make sure I get it out the surf. You cute little weasel, you. You cute little weasel, you. See, now you got me wondering if I can ever reuse old ones, Emery's. Now you got me worried if I could ever reuse an old one. Probably when I get like 60 or 70 of each game, then I can start using old ones again, right? Nope, it is not butter and it is not mine. You cute little weasel, you. Of course, this means Tuesday. God, I really hate using one night strictly for test broadcast. I really hate it anymore. But that's what it's going to end up being. You cute little weasel, you. Like I said, the trick is the words are always going to be right there in front of you. Correct, Emery's. It's an ermine. The ermine weasel, ferret, whatever they're called. Alright, and the next clue is... See, I don't tell people I do. I kind of have one. And so that's how I like remember all the little facts. That's why it's like I'll see certain clues and I'm like, I know I've used them before. Alright. A car collector. And we are looking for a 3-point word on this one. Oh, that's the best comeback I've ever seen for one of those type of clues. Best one. Alright, I think I do need a shot now. It's Saturday, Sunday morning. So we are looking for a car collector. Oh, see, it definitely doesn't taste right after the whiskey. It definitely does not taste the same after the whiskey. Of course, I'm like one of the few people that drink certain drinks straight. Give me brandy on ice, and I'm a happy man. Nope, it is not inshore. You're looking for a car collector. But yeah, not because of something you said, Emery's, I don't feel so bad sticking some of the science questions in now. Because I've been skipping a whole bunch of them when I was writing up a bunch of games. And I was like, okay, now that I know somebody can at least have a shot at them, I can squeeze them in. And there we go. We were looking for the repo as a car collector. Very nicely done, Emery's. Oh, you're making me hungry, Turtle. You know that, right? My pork steak is sitting up there waiting for me. Alright, the next clue will be pull up a chair. And I gotta find where it is. There it is. And what we are looking for is a 1-point word. Pull up a chair. figured out when I do the open games, Blockbuster seems to be the favorite. This one probably comes in second, and Joker's Wild comes in third. Nope, Turtle, it is not set. Pull up a chair. But yeah, I think I kind of got that figured out for favorites. Blockbusters, this one, and Joker's Wild seem to be the top ones. Jeopardy would probably come in fourth. Like I said, I still want to. I'm wanting to try the closed version, which is basically the full-blown thing. But what I have to, like I said, I want to get the desk done first. I want to extend the desk. No, Turtle is not end. Because what I would need for that, for what I had hoped for, was basically I got to get people that use Skype. I have to get like multiple computers that have Skype set up on it. So I can have like 1, 2, 3. I'm going to turn the comments off to widen the screen. Like I said, I'm seriously thinking I'm going to give it a shot at some point. My one issue is now that I've made the jump over to YouTube, the views have gone down kind of like I expected. Although, I will say that Nikki had said something that confused me. Because she said that the views on the web page had shown, or on the PlayStation screen had me listed at like 90 viewers. But it was like that night on the channel, I don't think it ever got above 13. I don't think it ever got above 13. So I was like a bit confused on that one. I will say Turtle was close on this one at one point. I will give you that one. Pull up a chair. Turtle was real close. So we're looking for pull up a chair. Really? That's like the one thing I love about the Vita. Is the Skype worked like a dream. Because I tested it, as soon as I got the software installed, I tested it with Al, and it went right through. And then I think Al, Miami, and GQ Smooth. Nope, it is not sit night. And Turtle nails it on that one. Is the settee. The settee was what we were looking for. Pull up a chair or pull up a settee. But the funny thing was, it was like GQ was doing a broadcast one night, and I figure I'm going to Skype him and just harass him because I don't use my phone to call anybody up. I only use it for incoming stuff from my wife. And it's like, I'm sitting there and it's dialing and dialing and dialing. So I basically said something to him in chat, because I was on the chat at the same time. And he's like, I forgot to turn it on. I forgot to turn it on. And then Al did the same thing one night. It's one of those where you've got to be ready for it when it comes up. Alright, you really need to grow up a little. I gotta figure out which one this is. And we are looking for another 1-point word. You need to grow up a little. Uh-oh. I may not be able to use this one. I may have to skip this one, guys, because it's not on my list. Oh, there it is. Correct, Emery's. Had to find that one. It was indeed teen. I started to panic because I'm like looking at the list. Tonight we are doing Now You See It. And basically what it is you will see a clue pop up at the bottom. And then once the clue pops up and we read it out, one of those rows of letters will appear. The actual answer to the clue, or what the clue is describing, is in the row of letters. It's written from left to right as you guys are watching it. You just actually have to find the actual word. So for instance, the next clue is, they struck back. They struck back. And once we reveal the letters, there will be a word in that row of letters that is the actual answer to the clue. So we have a 5-point word. Somewhere in that string of letters on the board right now is what this clue is describing. They struck back. So, for instance, if you think the answer is rest, as you can see, we have R-E-S-T. Well, I don't have the point over here with me right now. Correct, Emery's. The Empire struck back. The Empire. So, Empire is the actual word. If it's a clue, they struck back. And basically what it is, there's about 24 to 25 clues a game. There are 24 to 25 words spread throughout that board. There's usually actually about 32 to 33 of them. But there's about 6 or 7 of them I just don't use. Because I figure 25 is more than enough. It's one heck of a good time. It's one heck of a good time, and we're looking for a 2-point word. Yeah, now it's pretty much a word search. Because if you look up there right now, you can probably find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 words in that line. There are 11, I think there are 11 words in that actual line. Nope, Everys, it is not excite. There are, yeah, like I said, I think there are 11 words in that line. And I just did that right there off the top of my head because I don't write them all down. I only do the ones that I actually keep for the puzzle. Correct, Turtle. It's a whale of a good time. A whale of a good time. Exactly. Now you see, you're looking for one word in the line that fits the clue. So for instance, okay, let's try that again, shall we? And let me see what our actual answer is. I gotta look it up because they're not in order. There it is. And we are looking for a fork. Whoa. This one may not be in there. Let's try that again, shall we? I think I may have to skip this one because I think it's pulling the wrong row. So I'm gonna let everybody put one word up and see if it matches, because I think it's pulling the wrong row on this one. Alright, we got rebut and term. So now, if you want to take a guess at one of the words in there, feel free to do it. Because, like I said, I'm looking at my answer, and I'm not seeing what it says it is. All right, we're gonna pull this one up and see what it says. Yep, it definitely pulled the wrong row. Ah! So that one gets thrown out. All right, students and prisoners are so glad when it's over. Students and prisoners are so glad when it's over. Oh, that one's buggy. Oh, I don't know what the heck. Alright, I think this one is buggy. Whoa! I gotta look at something. I'm just not having any luck with the technical stuff tonight, am I? Oh man. I swear I test these constantly, over and over and over and over and over and over, and they still blow up. All right, I'm gonna break that one down because I know that's the wrong word. I know that's the wrong word. I gotta see what the heck that was. I think it's trying to tell me something. I really do. I think it's telling me I gotta get my files corrected because I want to see. Exactly. I think I got a reason. I think I got a reason. See, I don't need to sleep. I'm doing stuff. I think it's the fact I've been like working on so many. I was breaking so many of them down that I just never bothered going back in and correcting some. I want to see something. Because I just want to see what it's going to be easier to see this way. It's going to come up looking weird, so. Yep, so I got to definitely fix some of these. This one is. So basically tomorrow I got to go back and got to test pretty much a ton of stuff. because for whatever reason I've got stuff all scrambled up. Like I said, I'm more upset that the panel 25 one is busted, because like I said, I would have swore I fixed all of those. Those I would have swore I had fixed. So what's going to end up happening, I can see what's going to end up happening is I'm going to end up going back to doing test streams where it'll be like no vault, no prizes, just complete total test runs. I've got this bad feeling that's what it's going to end up turning into. Alright, I want to see. See, this is what's not making sense. I want you to see something. Because this is telling me this should have worked. Alright guys, I guess the computer is telling me I need to go back through and start fixing a few things. So with that, I'm going to wrap things up tonight. It's been 3 hours. We actually gave away the vault prize tonight, which was a very nice change from usual. And it also means, although nobody really took a shot at it, we are now up to 17 unsolved episodes for the 4-letter word. So it's climbing up there. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we're sending out a prize to Surf. The t-shirts are on order. They should be getting done next week and shipped out shortly after that. I got steaks waiting upstairs. I got to get something to eat. And that's everything I can think of right now, to be honest with you. Like I said, I gotta debug this one because I thought it was honestly ready. I ran a full test at the office when I had time, and it just didn't like me. I think I gotta give the computer a shutdown break is what I think it needs. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up tonight for List Wits. The professor was here earlier. You had me for the rest of the night. Other than that, there's not much more to add. So we're going to wish you guys a good night. And always remember, make the right choices and stand by those choices. What more can you do? Because you know you're doing the right thing. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to say good night. And we will see you on Tuesday.
Text to speech unavailable here.